Art brings another dimension to our lives. When you get up in the morning, to have some art around you stimulates your creativity, but makes you feel good about yourself. I like to say that Georgia's on my mind all the time. That's a good slogan to have. And it is. It's my state, and I cherish every bit of it. My mother painted and taught art in our home in Albany, Georgia.
Even back before her time, she was a trailblazer.
She could make us do things that we didn't think we could really do.
Artist. She was a free spirit.
Art, history, and hospitality, and I think that was 3 of her main roles in life. What is history? You are making history right now. This little group with me here is a historical event. It means something that happened. See?
Mildred loved educating. She would even take live crabs over to Albany to show the school children. That was just always foremost in her mind.
That's one thing about Millie and her mother. They both love, young people, and I think they're young in spirit as a result of that.
She just held the children captive. They sat all over the floor. The children thoroughly enjoyed her.
My mother and father brought us up always to think that there was some good with everything bad maybe that happened in life, and so when my sister was taken ill, there was no rehabilitation there for anyone, and so she was the one responsible really for starting the first Easter seal there.
I lived in Albany for a period of time and was very involved with Easter seals. And so Millie and I love to share stories about what her mom did to really promote mainstream opportunities for people with disabilities.
It was quite an honor for me when they asked me they have a Mildred Huie Award now.
I had that occasion to see her mother's imprint in Albany, in not the art side of her life, but the advocacy for people with disabilities.
The trees here are wonderful to me because Mother taught me a lot about it, just observing how she painted the trees. She painted them, well, they were very beautiful and romantic and ethereal. And the moss she got better than nearly anyone, in my opinion. I'm a little prejudiced, but I still think she did because she didn't make them look like stiff icicles. They twist and they turn and they do waltzes, and as I said, it takes a little imagination to think that, but we've got plenty of that, don't we?
One of my favorite memories of Mildred was her promotion of her dolls.
As a widow and an older person, it's important to look like you have somebody with you or in your home.
A man for all seasons, and it became men for all seasons because lots of people bought more than one mannequins, that you would call them, but they were dressed dolls and they were huge individuals, and it was so fun to be around them.
There's always one riding around in the car with her, and she said that was her protection. And she was able to sell that. A lot of people bought them to have them, and a lot of ladies bought them to have in their cars just so they looked like there was somebody with them. Ours plays the piano. His name is Huey.
She had a very inquiring mind. She majored in Latin and minored in Greek, and I always say this because I think it was so unusual for a woman born in 1906 to go to college and major in those 2 subjects, because many of them don't do it even now.
She set an example for me as a woman, that I didn't have to fit in a mold, that I could be myself, that I could march to my own drummer, because that's basically what she did all her life.
Mother never made us feel any different from anyone else. That was a wonderful thing about her.
When she opened Left Bank Gallery, I don't know how many businesses here at that point were owned by women, but not many. Millie has carried on that tradition so well for her.
Mother loved this church, and her paintings of Christ Church, they're all over the world now. You know, she taught me and Mildred Carlton to find something to like in every person, rich or poor, black or white, meek or mighty, it didn't matter. And she herself found something to love in every nook and cranny of this island and all of God's creation. She was something. You know, if Mother had anything to do with it, none of us would ever get old. We'd stay curious, and we'd be like children, she would say, children of God. And we'd just continue to play and learn and search and explore and be amazed at the wonder of it all.
In every community, you'll find that there are those who contribute immensely to the life of a community. Millie is at the top of that list.
The first time I met her, I thought, wow, here's a woman that combines kind of New York street smart with Parisian chic, with Southern belle, and pulls it all together beautifully.
When I lived in Rome, Italy, I was in the fashion business, and I got to pick out all the silks to make the fabrics, and that sort of started me on thinking long term about the art field.
She won't tell you, but I think Millie at one time was on the front cover of Vogue magazine. That represents the class she is.
This is one that was taken about this is 1957. It was a very romantic and glamorous life then. It really was. I had a wonderful experience, and I learned a lot about art and art history. I had lunch with Picasso and Cocteau one time. Just meeting that type of artist gave me the idea that I would like to be in the gallery business someday. I wish I had paid more attention to Picasso, because I think he would have done a sketch of me, but I paid very little attention because at 22 years old, you think you're everything, you know, so.
If you look up the word genteel in the dictionary, it's polite, kindness. She exudes that in everything she does.
Her persistence about issues is tempered with this charm and humor and a bit of an eccentric and amusing approach to things. And so while she continues to push, she never offends, because you just can't help but love Millie.
If you want something, just step forward and reach for it. I guess that
she
would be a
did
good
reach
way.
for things.
Millie has been involved in most good things that have gone on in this community.
She actually has been a backbone as a president of the chamber, so she's intimately familiar with the mission that we have.
One of the most exciting things in my career working with the Chamber of Commerce was when Governor Miller asked us to bring in the 3 ships, the Nina Pinta and Santa Maria.
She said, I want you to go with me to see the Spanish ambassador. I said, this is nuts, but I'll go with her. 3 or 4 months later, she calls me up and says, the ships are coming in, I want you to come out.
Denny and I rode on the ship together going over to the harbor of Brunswick.
I remember standing on the bank of the ocean watching those 3 little ships sail in, and then looking at her and realizing that she had done this for our community. She had brought this to us.
When Millie sets her mind to do something, she really does it. And she's done so much for this community like that.
That was another wonderful thing the Chamber did for me that I can't tell you how surprised I was, and I actually was surprised. I had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Jones, and it's one of the most prestigious awards that the Chamber gives each year. One of the things that helps here of living here is, while we don't have some of the cultural activities that New York and other big cities have, we do have our own things here that are wonderful.
I think the Land Trust appeals to Millie particularly because of the aesthetic quality of what we do when we preserve a natural area, it's natural beauty, and obviously it's a subject for many of her students' paintings and the artists that are connected with the Left Bank Gallery.
I have enjoyed working with all of the arts and humanities very much. The headquarters at the Ritz Theater in Brunswick.
Millie serves on our board and is instrumental in making a lot of what we do happen.
It was very important to me working with Golden Owl's Arts and Humanities because they were one of the very first organizations that wanted to have a show honoring Mother after she passed away.
Having the Mildred Huie exhibit here was extremely special, and a lot of people here hadn't seen it, so it was really good that that happened here.
She and her mother have had such an incredible impact, of course, as both artists, as big thinkers, as really visionaries around the culture of this community.
I so value the contributions that they have made to this community, not just in art, but just in the overall quality of life here.
I just think they supported each other. They were really a really good team.
True Southerners.
We all love Millie, and we love Miss Huie, and Miss Huie's memory is everywhere you see in the Golden Isles, all of her artwork and her history and the tales she told.
Thank you, and goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much.
It was just, instantaneous what a special person she is. Very gracious, very interested, and especially interested in my husband at the time. He wasn't my husband then, though, so that was fine.
And I live in an old farmhouse, so I don't want you to be surprised. I don't live in a mansion, okay? And I love it. I think I'm 11 here with 4 of my girlfriends, Hulda Jones, Norma Cornfelder, me, and Patsy Bancroft. And we were 4 little bad girls at that period.
And she says, I want you to meet this lady that runs this place. She's from out of space. And Millie heard them say that, and she said, I heard them, so I got a big hat on, and I stood up there, and I really put on a show for them. And that's just the way she is.
Well, it would be to always wear lipstick. Sorry, Millie. No, she gets on me about that because I don't tend to do that. And I wore it today, so just so you know.
Well, y'all should have seen Mildred, though. When we were with her, she'd get over close to my husband and she'd get her hand in his, and then she'd rise up at her. She was so precious. And Millie's the same way, she'll say, I think I'll sit by Hubert.
Excellent.
Everything we needed to hear.
No. Love you, Millie.
I really want to congratulate all of the community.